This is what happens, you grow in life, and as you learn and as you expand your own knowledge and you seek knowledge to support the children that you're serving, me as an educator, I learned so much more about my own history, about the history and the struggles of my own community. And all I wanted to do was give back. I love all kids, all families, etc. But I wanted to make sure that my community felt seen, heard, and respected.
Caring for others is part of your life, but it's not all of it. This is your space for growth, confidence, and connection to the whole you. Welcome to the DaliTalks Podcast. My guest is Nury Castillo Crawford. She is the founder and CEO of 1010 Publishing, a bilingual publishing house. And she's going to talk to us today about how she created her publishing house, who she wants, the type of authors she hopes to help, as well as stories. Welcome back to the DaliTalks podcast. I have Nury Crawford, a guest that I've known for quite a long time, actually, now that I think about it. And we just reconnected through this series, and I'm really happy to have you here, Nury. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes, it's great to see you, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share my own journey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so impressed, y'all. Look, I was reading her submission on the Google form. It is so amazing. I'm telling you, you need a real good feature, especially for like Hispanic Heritage Month and Women's Month. But tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Peru and South America. We actually just celebrated our 204th Independence Day. Definitely very proud of my roots and the motherland for us and my family. We immigrated to the United States when I was almost 11 years old. My father, my mother, myself, my little sister, and my baby brother. He was 3 months old. Uh, Definitely, I would say a Latino type family, very connected as a family. Food, faith, music, culture, all of that, very important for us, and very important for my father as well, as he definitely reiterated to us how important it was for us to stay true to ourselves while soaring, right? And instilling us that we didn't have to lose ourselves to be successful and to be able to reach all of our dreams and all of our goals in this country, which I feel like at that time it was rare. But now that my father's 80 plus, I see that his entire life he had to, because of his own trajectory, he had to be that go-getter. He had to be innovative. He had to basically be like, nothing's going to stop me from growing. Nothing's going to stop me from being successful. And then once he had a family of three, plus, of course, my mother and wife, I think he just basically magnified that 1,000%. And like, I cannot let my family down. I can't fail them. And so I got to lift them up. So definitely attribute a lot of my growth and my mindset to my parents. But my dad is definitely a key. So we moved here. I tell people, myself, in particular have been through almost every immigration status that this country has to offer, including the visitors. That's how we came. And then eventually applied for the green card. But before that, I'm sorry, we came as visitors. I was undocumented, then applied for the green card, and then applied for naturalization, which is citizenship, and that's where I am. I'm
Mhm.
a citizen of the U.S. now.
Yeah,
But
that's so
I might be moving towards dual citizenship because I'm thinking about
oh, también.
reclaiming my country.
Right, yeah. That would not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a very rich upbringing and having that experience. I know that myself, having come to the US at the age of 7. But in your bio, I mean, it's impressive. You have worn many hats. You've been a teacher, a principal, a director, an executive director. So when you were a kid, what did you want, what did you think that you wanted to be?
Yeah, listen, my whole entire life, and including all those titles and anything that I'm doing now, has to do with being an educator. So even when I was in Los Cerros de Peru, right in
Hmm.
the the backyard, or we didn't have a yard, but it was in the back of the house. All I wanted to do was be a teacher. The kids could come and play on the rock in the back of the house, if they let me be the teacher. And now I laugh about it. I'm like, I didn't own that rock. I don't know why I was so bossy. So bossy. But so just wanted to be a teacher. First in my immediate family to go to college. So definitely experience a lot of the hurdles and a lot of the pressure and stresses of having to navigate the educational system by myself. My parents loved me. My parents supported me, fed me, kept me safe, etc. a million times. Um, but they didn't know how to support me that way. I laugh and tell people that my parents never really checked my grades, right? They didn't know when the report card was coming, but my parents at the same time made sure that I did my homework. My mom made sure I had my snack, like checked on me. My dad checked the homework, and even though he didn't know English, he still wanted to see it. So for him, it was like presentation. And when he thought I didn't do my best and I scribbled or the paper was folded the wrong way and it looked messy, he was not happy. He wanted me to have a great presentation and scolded me if I didn't have that. Like he would say, like, it's disrespectful to submit this to the teacher. You can't submit. And I would say, they don't care here, Dad. He's like, I care, right?
Hmm.
And so, all of those things happened. But yeah, definitely just wanted to be a teacher. And I just thought my dream would be if I could be a teacher. Like if I could be a teacher, all of my dreams would come true. And so now I tell kids and families, dream bigger.
Hmm.
Whatever your
Yeah.
dream is, just like times 10 it. Don't be afraid. Only you can stop yourself from being your ultimate potential. Like dream bigger because I'm living proof. All I dreamt ever, as long as I can remember, was to be a teacher. And literally, I get into teaching 3 years later, I'm moving on up. So
Hmm.
I feel like having bigger dreams is definitely something I would advise to everyone.
Yeah, I agree. And if anything, and one thing I heard many years ago, and I didn't really understand it until I experienced something. They said, dream bigger than you already are. Like dream so big that it scares you. And I was like, oh, that
Hmm.
doesn't make sense. But now I completely get it because
Yes.
we think our dreams are big and then we achieve it, and you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't as big as I thought. I
Yeah.
could have gone further. Or I can go
Yes.
further. So then you achieve the next one. But anyway,
Yeah.
so what was the moment you knew you were meant to be in education, not just as a job, but as your calling?
Yeah, I loved even when I was young, before I could even get my official first job. I loved to babysit, and I would babysit. Well, I had to babysit for free for my own family, my sister, my brother. But
That's a Latino life.
yeah, like that's normal. But yeah, and then people would see me like my mom. While she was cooking or cleaning or whatever, she would say, like, lleva tu hermanito al parque. Like, I would say, like, can I go? My friends are going to be there. And my mom would say, yeah, but you got to take your siblings. So literally, I would be the only 11-year-old at the park. All my friends are hanging out on the swings, and I have the stroller, and I have my little sister who was super shy and wouldn't let go of me. And so, like, I had to sit her on the swing and be like, I'll be right back. And so, other people saw me and would see me come back or play, but always like looking back, make sure they're there, make sure they're there, make sure they're there. And then moms would come and be like, do you babysit? And I'm like, maybe I have to ask my mom. And so eventually my mom did let me help out once in a blue moon. My dad was still very protective and wouldn't want me to go babysit in somebody's house, like stranger. Hello, you can't go to a stranger's house. So it was funny. He'd actually would let me go. It would only I couldn't go in the dark. He'd say she can come, but when the sun starts going down, she's got to come home. And so that's what I did. But it was funny because many times he would show up where I was babysitting, like,
Oh yeah, you had to
yeah,
check up
he's
on
like,
him.
and I'd be
Yeah.
like, Papi, like, I'm okay. I'm in charge. And he's like, I know that. Your mom made this, and I thought you wanted it. Like, literally, I was babysitting like for 2 hours, and my
He'd
dad would
show
still
up.
show up.
Micromanaging.
Yeah,
No,
like,
he just wanted you safe. That's all.
you know what? Like,
Mhm.
I definitely thought, like how annoying, even through
Mhm.
my teen years when my dad show up at the teen night. Like how annoying, like I can't get trusted. Like I do all these adult responsibilities, but you can't trust me to be at teen night or wherever. But now I'm like, man, like that's why nothing happened to me. That's why I'm like a sane, safe person because my father and my mother were so protective, but they still wanted me to try things. So like they let me babysit, but on their terms.
Mhm.
Like as long as we know you're safe, you can do it. Like
So,
they gave me a
mhm.
little bit, but my mom would say, no, no tanto para que te ahorques sola. Like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
not so much freedom, right? You get a little freedom, then we pull you right back and we
Right.
give you a little more just so you can try it out.
Right.
Try
Right.
out freedom, but with us still here. I love it. I think it's like the best method.
So then the that love to want to take care of kids is what led to your wanting to be a teacher. So,
Yes.
and you also mentioned that the path isn't linear, and I'm so glad you mentioned that. I think a lot of people need to understand that
Yes.
because they beat themselves up when they don't see a linear path. They think that they've failed. But
Right.
can you walk us through one of the curveballs or pivots that you had to make in your career?
Yeah. So like most of us, I was so happy. I went to college. I went on scholarship. Then I went to grad school on fellowship. I mean, and then I did like so and then I had a university scholarship for specialist degree, etc. So I was just blessed and happy that I was like working, and then I got an assistant principal, and then I mean, I just went up and up, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I am winning at life. And then it got to the point where this is what happens, you grow in life. And as you learn and as you expand your own knowledge and you seek knowledge to support the children that you're serving, me as an educator, I learned so much more about my own history, about the history and the struggles of my own community. And all I wanted to do was give back. I love all kids, all families, etc. But I wanted to make sure that my community felt seen, heard, and respected. And so I think at some point I was like, there's there were parameters that I felt like out of respect, I couldn't venture as much as I wanted to, the way I wanted to do it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this consulting thing.
Mm,
And I was totally afraid because I'm
mhm.
used to my 9 to 5 and my insurance.
Yeah,
Like I'm used to
the safety.
security every month, getting paid. Like I was just used to that continuity and that safeguards. But I bet on myself, right? And I took a risk. But I tell people, like, if you're gonna take a risk, take an educated, strategic risk because I am an adult and I have responsibilities and accountabilities, bills, etc. I couldn't just say like, I'm just gonna go for it. I had to create a strategic plan, and think about all the pros and the cons and how much had I been saving, how much did I have that I could support myself if I didn't make a single dollar in the next 6 months or a year. So that's what I mean when I say strategic, right? And so if you want something bad enough, you're going to put the time in to research it. So that definitely was one of those pivotal moments where I had to make a decision and see if I was equipped enough, both financially, education wise, like what do I have to provide or offer as a consultant? What could I possibly, how can I make money with all the knowledge that I have gained and garnished throughout my journey? And so I felt like I was ready and I just went for it.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, right? You have to do things scared, and you have to accept that you don't have to have all the answers. Now, there's something that you mentioned that you went to school to on scholarship, so that our listeners understand this, because I think there are a lot of misunderstandings or misconceptions that in order to go on scholarship to anywhere or get into a fellowship, you have to be like 4.0 plus student, and you have to have like these amazing extracurricular activities in order to qualify. So, would you please speak a little bit on your experience with that?
Yeah, I'll speak on my experience. And actually, one part of my support that I offer and I get, I get paid to do is working with different entities about with scholarships and helping families and students that whatever the organization supporting achieve and acquire this. So I'll do a shameless plug for the
Yes.
Latino Youth and Parent Group. It's a free Facebook group. The only caveat is that everything's posted in Spanish.
Hmm.
So it is in Spanish because again, that is my way of supporting whom I see as my parents when I was little.
Right.
My parents would have given me this information if they had it, but nobody focused on them and nobody went out of their way to provide them with the information they needed to support me and my sister, my brother. So for me, it's a way of paying it forward, right? And giving back. So there are so many scholarships out there.
Oh, wait.
And
Sorry, I have to pause. You did mention the name of the group. So, because,
Latino Youth and Parent Group,
okay, on Facebook.
yes,
Okay,
it's on
wonderful. Thank
Facebook.
you.
Mhm. And the name is in English, which
Mhm.
it's actually a good thing, to be honest with you. Sometimes I am I do believe I'm a Christian, etc. So I feel things happen for a reason. For a long time, I contemplated like, why did I name it Latino Youth and Parent Group? Not all the time. Sometimes I'd look at it and I'm like, why didn't I just name it something in Spanish? I don't know, whatever. Kept it going. And now, because it's part of the nonprofit and all of this, we're going to cancel equity, all of this conversations happening. I'm glad it's not.
Right.
I'm
Hmm.
glad it's not because I'm like, I serve everyone. Of course, everyone has to know Spanish, but it is what it is.
Right.
All right. So, yeah, scholarships are available. My gosh. There's scholarships, literally, there's scholarships out there that it's like if your parent was in one of the armed forces,
Hmm.
if somebody in your family passed away, if you're a vegetarian, if you want peace on earth, there's just so many different scholarships. There's even monies out there for anyone that's in grad school, PhD, law school. There's schools, universities that will pay, that will give you free tuition if you meet specific requirements. Um, yeah, I mean, and even Ivy League schools, are providing free um, enrollment. If you make like less than 100,000 or something like that, I know that Harvard is giving that. I mean, you have your living expenses, but then you can write your scholarships to live off of, and then you can apply for FAFSA too. So there's like where there's a will, there's a way. And you could be like me. You could get a scholarship and then still be broke and eat ramen noodles. I mean, it ain't gonna kill you. 4 years, make the best out of it. And one of the tips that I always give is after you've determined your budget, if you think you're going to need $50,000 to live per year, then you need to write enough scholarships that equal to $500,000
Oh.
because research tells us that you are most likely going to get 10% of whatever you apply for.
Oh, that's so good to
So
know.
the goal is apply, apply, apply.
Mhm.
Currently have a nephew. He's on his last year at the university, but he knows the routine. Like, I send him scholarships and then I check on him. And he came to visit me for a week and a half and he sat at my kitchen table and he did scholarships. And my middle child and myself We reviewed his scholarship stuff, and then we said he submitted. So we got to be committed. If you're gonna, it's kind of like it's better than having a job because once you get the money, then you don't need to work. You can literally focus on your education and even maybe some fun.
Do you have a recommendation regarding which websites to go to for those scholarships and grants?
No, I don't follow a specific website. I have a group of friends who do this for their own either organization. Yeah, mostly organization. I don't think any of them do it for business. And so I find them, I get connected with people that have them, and then I share it with them, and then they share theirs with me, and we have a spreadsheet and we just share.
That's
And that's
awesome.
sometimes how you have to do life, right?
Right.
Find
Yeah.
people of like minds, same goals, kind of like the Facebook group. We're all there because education is important to our kids. You know what they say, birds of a feather flock together. So you
Hmm.
stick with people that have like minds and focus on whatever the task is at hand and yeah, support each other. And I think
Right.
that's how we work with the scholarships. We definitely, it's just literally a made up cohort of professionals that are committed to the cause. And we just share it and that's how we do it.
Okay. That's really good to know. Great resource. So can you tell me a little bit about what leadership skills you did not learn in either high school or college, but you had to develop that in order to, you know, progress at your job?
Yeah, I think when you are in your journey to become a leader in any type of organization, definitely the skills of, data collection and
Mhm.
communication, all of those, big hitters are always prominent and they're reiterated for everyday life and work and being able to balance, your employees, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, part of being a leader is much more than that because I feel like anybody can learn how to use communication devices or protocols to be effective in communication. Um, but for me, empathy and respect for people in general is much more important. And I say that because research also tells us that when people leave a workplace, it's because of their leader, their manager, right?
Mhm.
Whoever their boss is. More than anything, that is why people leave their job. Not be, they're willing to get paid less as long as they don't have to work with that person, right? And so for me, building relationships is really important. And some of these skills I didn't, thank goodness, I didn't have to learn by myself. My parents, again, instilled those things in me, right? We're having, I hear it's very popular. People say, have the same respect for the janitor as you do the CEO. But my father would be like, we respect everyone. And I remember going to school, and this is something that really happened. And I don't know, to be honest, what I said, but apparently it rubbed my father the wrong way. I think I was in grad school. And I must have said something that made him think that I thought I was better than somebody else,
Mm.
to be honest with you. And my father was like, he's like, remember, because he was very calm. He never shouted or anything. He said, remember, whatever you gain in life, whether it's money or an education or a title, that belongs to you. It has nothing to do with the rest of us. So if you're proud of something, you should be proud, for going to school, etc. He said, but that doesn't make anybody less.
Mhm.
And when he said that, it kind of like shook me because I was like, uh-oh, am I in trouble? But he wasn't upset. He just wanted to like nudge me a little. And now that I think about it, I'm like, I must have been getting the big head or something. Like, what did I say? My dad did not like that. And my mother would say, ever since I remembered, haz bien sin mirar a quién.
Mhm.
Like you just do the right thing and you don't worry about anybody else. And I think things like that, those little nuggets of love and boundaries and parameters and having vision on how to treat people, those are some things that are so important in leadership. And those are not necessarily attributes that you can count quantitatively, but they're definitely qualitative qualities that that I feel are definitely more important than anything else because other things you can learn how to do, but you can't, unless you have an open mind, you're not going to be so quick to humble yourself, to make sure that the people that work under you feel seen, heard, and respected authentically and genuinely. Like it's not a pretend game. People
Mhm.
have to actually know that you care about them and that whatever you're saying is because you want better for them, because you're trying to build them up.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that I did not learn in class, and I had to develop, you know, to para superarme, to
Mhm.
go up the ladder, was leveraging relationships, how to network. And oh my gosh, I did not realize how important that was actually until like I got out of the military. And I was
Mm,
like, oh my gosh, what happened?
it is
But anyway,
true.
yeah, there's so many things that we don't learn. But
But
going
in
back to,
college, I went to
Mhm.
Florida A&M University. It's an HBCU in Tallahassee, Florida.
Okay.
And I learned that there. They would tell
Yeah,
us that. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
exactly.
So I,
Yes.
I did learn that early.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Going back to, going through, you got your bachelor's, your master's. Do you have a PhD?
No,
No.
I
Okay.
thought
So,
about it twice and then I was like, I'm too
right.
tired.
Yeah, not only that, but you also have to think about the of investment. Sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And some people do it just for personal achievement, not because it's gonna make them any money, and I totally respect that because I know a lot of PhDs and MDs that are dumber than a rock. So
Yeah. No,
just
and I
because you
thought
have
about
money.
it twice because I got offered.
Mm-hmm.
I got offered to do it and there was money.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lot, but it was 30,000 and a part-time it was like working under a grant or something. So I was gonna like still be able to pay my bills. I just the first time, not the second time. Second time I said no real quick, but the first time it was like I felt really guilty not doing it because I thought, how many people get this opportunity?
Yeah.
That
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna pay me to go to finish. And I had so much going on. I was like, I don't know. And my sister said something to me. She's like, you don't have to be everything for everybody. Like, you're feeling guilty because you're thinking, oh, people look up to you and you should. And I was like, well, I mean, I want everybody to, education's important, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I just didn't take but I do applaud everybody that gets it. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
work.
It sure is. It'll take your social life away.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay you really. I mean, if it does give
No,
you some sort of stipend, it's not enough.
nope.
Um, but what I want people to understand is that just because you have the title doesn't mean that you're the smartest person in the room. I
Oh,
know so many people
definitely.
that have just a high school diploma and they're brilliant. It's incredible
Yes.
because it doesn't have to, it doesn't, your education doesn't have to be from a official institution. You can educate yourself in so many ways, especially
Especially
now with,
now,
yeah,
internet and
the internet.
such.
Oh my gosh. But let's talk a little bit about what your investment was for your bachelor's versus what salary you might have started with at your job, and then same thing for your master's. What did you invest and how much more did that allow you to make?
Yeah. So bad examples for me because, like I said, I got scholarships and stuff, so I didn't
Hmm.
invest too much.
Yeah, but let's
Um,
give people an idea because I think some people don't understand how much money you can actually get from grants. And
oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, like totality, I don't know, but it paid for my all of my education. And then I also qualified. So basically, all of my classes, it was enough for me to pay all of my classes and my books. The money was from the
Hmm.
scholarship, but I also qualified for FAFSA
Hmm.
because of the income level my parents had. So, with the money I got from the scholarship, I was able to get a new car every year.
Wow.
Yeah, one time a guy thought I was doing something illegal. I was like, no. I drove up to the house party and I was like, no. He was like, are you sure? I was like, I am sure. I am sure I'm not doing anything bad. Um, So yeah, I mean, it literally could be like if you take time to do it, it's your job. I got lucky though. So let me tell you, so there are scholarships not only by organizations, there's national ones, those sometimes are a little harder because it's national. You got to compete with with everyone in but there's also statewide ones, which you can also find on the page of your FAFSA for your state. And then you can do work study, which means you can work at college and they pay you money. The plus about working at the university is that they know that when testing is right, like in the semester, they know you're there for school. You're not there for a job. So they're a little bit more understanding than outside the university jobs, like the Pizza Hut or something. But talking about Pizza Hut and Taco Bell and Starbucks and Target and Chick-fil-A, if you work at specific places, they will help you fund your college
Mhm.
too. So instead of working at the no-name brand taco stand or pizza stand, work at the ones that do give you money to go to school. And again, we share all of that on the Latino Youth and Parent group page. But then banks have scholarships that you can apply for. And then let's see, I said banks, I said that. Oh, and then like for example, U.S. Bank. Is it U.S. Bank or is it trust? I think it's U.S. U.S. Bank, I believe. It's U.S. Bank has a program where you take courses on financial literacy, and for every 10 courses, I think it's 10, don't quote me, is they give you get an X amount of money towards your school.
Wow.
So they actually pay you to do that. I think the deadline's October.
Oh, I'm gonna
So you
get my
should
kids right
register
on
for
that.
kids should register for that. So yeah, so there are definitely organizations, but there's local scholarships as well. And then there's even scholarships that are very local because they're only like for your city or your county or whatever, however you guys organize you get the living spaces in your state. But there's definitely enough of that. And then for grad school, so anyway, so for my bachelor's, I didn't really invest a lot because everything got paid for. And then for grad school, I was already married and my husband had served in the military. So I was able to apply for support that way. And I also got a scholarship from that university. So the universities also have in-house monies depending on the degree sometimes, right? So it could be part of the department money, sometimes the university itself from the some kind of alumni association or some kind of other thing has money too. They're not literally outside in the hallways or in the sidewalks telling everyone that that money is there and for you to come get it. If you want something, you have to go and ask and then ask again and then ask three times until they're so annoyed by you that they send you somewhere to go get it. And that literally is what happened to me in grad school. I went to the financial aid office. They said they didn't have anything, but that I should go to the dean of education. So I went there. And then the receptionist, who was another student doing her grad school thing, she had no interest in helping me. She wasn't mean. She was just like, I don't think so. And I was like, well, I don't want to know what you think. I want to know where the money is. She was like, well, the dean's not here. And so I was like, when's the dean coming? And so she told me, and I came back. And the very next day, I mean, I was there for like 2 weeks. And she was like, he's not here. I said, I'm gonna wait. So I waited, did some homework, ate a sandwich, whatever. Never came. I had to leave, go to class, whatever. It just happened over and over. And finally, the dean came and he told me to go to another building and that he was like, I'm gonna call her right now. She's gonna be waiting for you. So he called. I went. At first, I thought the lady wasn't there, but she was. And anyway, because I knocked, she didn't answer. And then as I was leaving, she came out, whatever. And long story short, I got the money, but it was a lot of doors, right? Like a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of like, nope, nope, like we don't do that, we don't do that. And eventually, yes, you do that because I got the money and I went to grad school.
Yeah,
And so
good
with
for
all of
you.
that, I was able to go to grad school and not have any issues.
So had you not paid for that bachelor's and for that master's, how much money do you think you would have had to? pay out of pocket?
Oh my gosh. I think back in the day, it must have been like 30 something a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Hmm.
think. I guess all the living, maybe up to 40. Yeah, I would, it was a long time ago. So I think it
Right.
was 35, 40 probably back in the day. Now I think you could probably go to and stay around 50 or 60.
But you said you went to an HBCU,
HBCU.
and that's like private school. I mean, those are,
No,
right?
not Florida A&M. It's a state school.
Okay. All right.
Not all
Okay.
of them are.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Okay. So that's good. I wanted people to hear that just so they have an idea. And then, do you think that your investment, although you didn't come out of pocket because you had all these grants, do you think that the investment was worth the salary that you started off with?
Yeah, I do. I was a teacher, so I didn't really get paid anything. And since I didn't pay anything, I guess it was okay. Um, but eventually, and that's another thing, it's like I went in to be a teacher because that's what I wanted to be, right? That's what was my dream come true. And even though I didn't get paid a lot as a teacher, I still got paid better than if I had just not even finished high school, right?
Right.
And I had benefits and summers off, so there were some pros. And so I feel like the investment is still good, but a lot of times people are afraid to go into education because they think they're not going to make enough money. But you can do other stuff like I did, right? You go on to be a leadership in the building, and then you can go on to be a leader in the district level, and you get paid very well there. And then as a consultant, I put my own prizes out there, and people pay if they want it, and if they don't, they don't. And it's okay. Just move on to the next person. But I feel like it definitely, your potential of making the money that you want will be definitely up to you, whatever career you choose. If
Right.
you allow someone else to say, well, this is as much as you're going to make, then that's on you. I mean, there's no judgment. You can make any decision you want. But I feel like if you really, you get your education and you decide how much you're going to make, I think you're going to make it. You just got to put it out into the universe and then just find ways to get it done.
Right. As a consultant, you said you had to make sure that you were financially set just in case things did not go your
Mhm.
way. So what tools did you absolutely have to have though in order to give that a try and hope that you
Yeah, I think you have to, as you progress and as you grow in your profession, you have to sit back and kind of self-evaluate, right? Evaluate and say, what are my strengths here? And I think another point that you made that is very crucial in the world of consulting and being an entrepreneur or self-sufficient person would be like, who do I know that can connect me with potential clients, right? Who in my network? And because when I wasn't thinking about venturing out on my own, I was the president of the Georgia Association of Latino Administrators and Superintendents, and every state has a chapter, and I was the president of the Georgia one. I knew people. Because I was a leader in the 13th largest school district in the nation and the first Latina at the district level office, I knew people. So
yeah,
networking is definitely important, but there are so many little nuances about networking that I feel like people should research and learn and read about it because networking isn't just about what can I get out of people? That's selfish, right? I feel like when you go into networking, my number one thing is I always go in like, how can I help? And then let me show you, right? It's not about like talking at lunch and saying, so just let me know what I can do to help you. No, it's like I listen and then I'm like, well, you know what you really need? You might need this. Let me get you in contact with somebody. And right then and there, pick up the phone and I'm like, I'm connecting you right now. Right. And then people are like, and then if one day you're like, oh, I need help. So and so might be able to help me. Then I don't find it awkward for me to pick up the phone and say, hey, like, I need your
right,
help. Like, I don't find, I don't find that awkward because 9 out of 10 times I'm the person that will connect somebody and I'm willing to help. So when I do ask for help, people for the most part are like, yeah, let me do that for you.
Yeah, you're right, Nuri. One of the things that I do is that I always ask, how can I support you? Is there
Mm-hmm.
anything that I can help you promote or connect you with a certain person? And I'm surprised how many people don't do that. And I'm very surprised about the reaction from people. They're always so like, oh my God, thank you. Oh, we
Mm-hmm.
need more people like this. And it surprises me. I don't know why, because it's such a simple thing to do. And
Yeah.
you just build a rapport from the jump just by saying those few words.
Yeah. We don't need
Um,
to be adding to the gatekeeping. I mean, we already have
exactly.
so much of that for us, right? As
So many
Latinas,
obstacles.
etc. So we don't need that. And la comunidad junta, right? We
Hmm.
just got to do it together. Nobody's coming, nobody else is going to come save us, all right? I say
Exactly.
that all the time. I'm like, well, you have to learn to support each other. And even the parents that I have, privileged to support, I tell them the same thing. Like, I've shared this with you. I'm hoping you're going to share with at least 10 people. Please
Right.
share it with 10 people. Like, or you came to this meeting, you should have brought 10 people with you. I don't know
Yeah.
why 10's my number, but I always tell people like 10.
That's
I
a
need you to
good
bring 10 people. Like,
that's a good
like
number.
I don't want one, I need
Right.
10. Um, yeah, like I tell people all the time, like, okay, that is good for you and your kid, but what about your neighbors and la comadre, y la vecina, y el tío no sé cuánto? Like, bring them. They need it too.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't take anything away from us when we help
Mhm.
other people.
So what
My,
advice
yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
What advice would you give parents whose teens are about to enter college or the workforce, especially if they're unsure about their career path?
Oh my gosh, so many. To stay organized, to put
Mm-hmm.
everything on the calendar. The
Mm-hmm.
one thing that would, I mean, I guess it's me personally, one thing that turns me like, I work hard at not being judgmental, but it does bother me genuinely is when people aren't on time.
Yeah.
And I don't
Mhm.
even know if I think it is on time. My dad was very strict on that too,
Mhm.
but it really is to me a reflection of respect for my time,
I
right? And
agree.
we have to be respectful for people. And right now, I would think without a doubt that professors, employers, definitely value that. That is a great trait to have. So, and guess what? Everybody is not the same, and we're not all perfect. And maybe that is not a strength of yours or the kid or whoever, but it's something that we should all strive for.
Mhm.
Being on time, being held accountable is definitely something that I don't think would go wrong, right, for anybody. I think
Mhm.
that it definitely would help you demonstrate that you are respectful, that you are responsible, and you hold yourself accountable for being on time and for doing what you said you were going to do. You said you were going to be here at 4 p.m. And then you show up at 3:55 or 3:50 or like Nuri 3:30. Then I like that, right? Like I can count on you. You knew I was busy. Like you were being respectful basically. And I think that that's so important.
Right.
And
Yeah.
things happen. Sometimes maybe you're not going to be on time, but if you live in Atlanta, then you need to just show up at midnight. So you can definitely be there on time.
The traffic.
Yes, the traffic.
I'm a witness to that.
Yes.
My goodness. Okay, let's switch it up a little bit. What's
Yeah.
one school policy you would ban forever if you had a magic wand?
School policy, like K-12 or college?
Whatever you choose.
Mm. A policy that I would ban. Oh my gosh, a
Hmm.
ban. My goodness, I don't know. A policy that I would ban.
No, we can skip
Um,
it.
Yeah, I don't
If
even
nothing
know.
comes,
Oh,
yeah.
that kids have to pay. I mean, I love books and
Hmm.
everybody should, but I don't feel like if a first grader lost the book and the parent is unwilling to send the money of 9.95 for the book, that the kid can't get another book all through elementary school, even when they in fifth grade, like you're punishing the kid,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
yes, the kid should not have lost the book. But I feel like there's different ways to have the child, yeah, I don't know,
Right.
tell the parent they're going to pay $1 every semester or something.
Right,
I
right.
think we should be creative. I don't
Mm,
think kids need to be punished for losing the book or something happening to a book and then they don't have access to books for free
right,
time reading.
right.
Yeah, I don't think that's good.
Which role was the hardest? Teacher, principal, or executive director, and why?
I would say teacher. As an executive director, I had lots of people under me, lots of programs. Yes, I had to, balance, like I need to go see them. I need, employee this, employee that. That's stressful, but to me, like the most important job is the kids. And so for me, like it was a miracle. I thought it was a miracle that, oh my gosh, all the children got fed, all the children got home. They're all safe. Hallelujah. Like, let's do this another 100,000 times before I die. Like, that's a huge responsibility. Having children in your care and then you have all these children, that's a huge responsibility, I think. And then some like teachers not only have to make sure the kids get fed, take them to the cafeteria. Oh, Johnny forgot his chocolate milk. Let me what you have all of this, and now you got to put them on the bus or car rider, so they have to get home. But now I got to teach them too, and I got to listen to the administration and the district for the standards and the amount of minutes I'm supposed to teach. Look, it's a lot. Teachers
Yeah,
deserve all of the praises that we can
right.
give them.
I agree. I agree. If you could invite three educators, living or gone, to dinner, who would they be and what would you serve?
Mm, I would start. Let me start with the easy part. It was something Peruvian.
Yes.
Lomo saltado,
Ooh.
papa a la huancaína, maybe a ceviche con chicha morada. And for dessert, we could have flan.
Oh gosh, flan. I
That's
love
the
flan.
easy part.
Yeah.
Um, Miss Caswell was my
Ah,
first teacher in the
okay.
US in high school, and I got here way before high school, but she was the very first teacher whom I felt, and she's still living, and I've
Ah,
communicated with her. Um, she didn't feel sorry for me. I don't think the other teachers were mean or bad or ill-willed, but I think they felt bad for me.
mm.
She's got an accent. Oh, like, oh, it's okay. Like whatever I did was okay. I'm just gonna let her pass. Like, but I didn't know that until I got Miss Caswell in freshman year, and she basically was like, I wrote an assignment. She was an English teacher. I wrote something, and she gave me a C, and I was shocked. And I went and showed her like, I got a C. And she's like, you can do better. And I was like, no, I can't. And she's like, yes, you can. She said, stay after school. I'm going to help you. And I was like, I have to talk to my parents, whatever. She was like, okay, tomorrow. So the next, I told my mom and she was like, ¿Qué pasó? And like, what's happening? And I said, she's going to help me. And she's like, talk to my dad, like, Oscar, deja la niña. And like, she's got to stay. We got to pick her up. And my dad was like, okay, that's fine. And so, long story short, she kept me the first time, gave me a B minus, and then I still didn't like it. I was like, I can't get a B minus, and I stayed after school, made me stay one more time, and then I got an A minus, and she said that was all I was gonna get, and basically taught me like, don't do mediocre work because I'm gonna give you mediocre grades.
Hmm.
You give me what you're supposed to give me, and then you'll get the grade that you want. And the rest of the year, I was golden. And like I said, she was an assistant superintendent and everything. She's now well retired, but she's still in touch with me. And when I wrote my first book, she came to my book signing
Oh.
and gave me a $2 bill. She signed it. So cute. Um, yeah, so she's one. And then I have a principal who moved me into leadership. Her name is Lisa Johnson. I almost cried. I was like, am I doing something wrong? Like, I love the kids. And she was like,
Oh,
no. She said, but the impact you can make in one class in one year, you could multiply that by 11 or 12 for all the teachers under you in one year. And we need that. And
that's
so
beautiful.
Yeah, so she definitely. And then my mother was not a formal teacher. She only went to third grade, but my mother taught me everything
Yeah.
in terms of loving kids, um, and being able to work without judgment of other people, right? And basically, like, I don't have to hurt anybody else to be my best version. Like,
Right.
I'm not in competition with anybody.
Yep.
And when somebody, this is the part that took me a long time to accept and learn, but when somebody does feel threatened by me or feels like they're in competition with me, instead of me like, I think my initial reaction would be like, "Well, whatever, like they're dead to me. I don't care." To be honest with you, that is
Yes.
probably what I would think. My mother would be like, no, you know, like let's help them.
Hmm.
Like it must be hard for them to feel that insecure. I'm sad for them. And I'd be in my little, I was immature, so I'm like, sad. I'm not sad for them. They deserve it. And she'd be like, no, hijita, like we need to pray for them. Like we got to help them because they're sad and you're not sad.
Right.
Like you're a winner. So you're
Right.
okay, but they're not. So we got to help them.
Hmm.
So lots of little lessons from my mother.
Yeah. And lastly, you finish this sentence. I knew I made a difference when.
When a mother said to me, que Dios la bendiga. Like, maestra, que Dios la bendiga. Because
No.
I feel like that's part of my my whole passion, it's like basically to help the parents see the power they have in them to help their kids. Because at the end of the day, we just need the kids to succeed, and that, education is the way we're going to get our community where we need to be.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for this conversation, Nuri. Now, can you please tell our audience where they can find you?
Yeah. So if you're ever in Atlanta, hit me up and we could do lunch. Um, yeah, if the traffic lets us. I am on social media at Nury, Nury Castillo Crawford. Yep, that's where I am on social media, LinkedIn, everywhere. I am an author, so you can also find me at 1010 Publishing. It's 1010 Publishing, so it's 1010 Publishing. And you can find me on social media there too, but the website, my books are there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Nury
Yeah.
Castillo Crawford.
Thank you so much, Nuri, for your time. I've really, really enjoyed this conversation.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
Hey, did you like that episode? I have an ask. Would you mind leaving me a review? It would really help me improve this podcast so that you can come back and keep listening. Also, don't forget to check me out at DaliTalks.com and follow me on social media at DaliTalks. Until next time.